We are live. So, hello everyone, and welcome back to Satisfactory. So last time we left off, we had finally finished off our superposition oscillator factory. I say finally, it was pretty quick. But now, we get to turn in the last hub upgrade in the game. So let's just start spamming all these items, which I pulled into my inventory beforehand because it would have taken a while otherwise. Now we click launch, and we are all good.
Milestone reached. Instant travel between chosen locations will be possible as
Is
soon as the
entirely
main and
complete.
satellite portals are built and paired. Do not ask me how it works. Not because I don't understand dimensional dispersal theory and the cross-warp applications of liminal peer-regulated parallel fibrillator nanocells, for example. But because you do
Seems
not
like a lot of
need to
buzzwords.
know.
Interesting.
You go in one end, you come out the other. It's a door.
Alright, I wonder if we'll actually make some of these at this point. I mean, we have the hypertube cannons,
can be automated and requires
but I do
no
want
manual
to see
input
what
from
they're
you,
like.
So I'd say we're relatively safe. If you disagree about my assessment of your
Okay.
capabilities, you are free to attempt a study and replication of either portal or warp technology.
Sure
After
does
you're done
talk
with
a lot.
project assembly.
Okay. So, now, first of all, let's see. Any hard drives to scan? No. So we have all the alt recipes available. So that's all good, and we don't really need them. So, Singularity cells. These are the things which we're working on now. They need dark matter and nuclear pasta, and then some iron and concrete, I guess. So these just get used for fixonium and ballistic warp drives. Although I believe that the... where is it? I believe the portals use them. Singularity cells need to be supplied to the main portal. Yeah, so let's just pop one of these down and see what it's like. Alright.
You have finally built a portal. Perhaps now your progress won't be as slow.
It'll
To
probably be
ensure
pretty
no
slow.
further
I
delays
have no
happen,
singularity
I will
cells
give you some tips.
yet to actually use
A
this.
functional portal is two-way and requires one main and one satellite portal,
Yep,
each
yep.
only connecting to the other. Establishing a portal connection will require input of singularity cells, vast amounts of power, and some patience.
Yep.
Before you continue, you could still change the placement of that one, it seems, suboptimal.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. Alright, so... Singularity cells. That has not been linked. So let's try putting down a satellite portal right next to it. And select that one. Oh, maybe it needs to be powered first. I just want to see how many singularity cells this is going to take at the end of the day. Alright. So, if we select that, then it will take... It's hard to say. Alright. So we're just going to assume that the number is going to be very small and just work on that assumption. So, we'll just get the ones that we need for crafting and then some spares, I guess. So, for the fixonium, how many do we need? I checked this earlier, and the fixonium fuel rods, we're making 25 of these, which means we need 50 fixonium, which means we need... It's just 1-to-1, so we need 50 singularity cells for that. Okay, so this, we need 50 singularity cells. Then for the ballistic warp drives, we're just going to do the regular old 10 times the default rate, which is 10 per minute, which means we need 50 per minute singularity cells. So, all in over, we need 100 singularity cells. And then, I guess, make it 120 for whatever other purposes they're used for. So, that is going to be interesting. Now let's go into the tools thing and see how many resources is that going to be. It's going to be a lot. So we're going to need 10 nuclear pasta, for example. It's one of the main things. And apparently some large-ish number of time crystals. Okay, so let's figure out then how much nuclear pasta we have, because that's just been running in the background this entire time. Nuclear pasta. Okay, so theoretically, our default production rate would mean we're making 5 nuclear pasta per second, which is not enough. So let's see here. Pretty sure... No, I actually just have no idea where the nuclear pasta is. It's probably up here in the Dune Desert, because that's where all the copper is. So let's just assume that that's where it is, and go up that way. So that will be northeast. And yeah, I bet it's that row of reactors down there. So let's fly on over and see how much nuclear pasta we already have produced and how much more we're going to need. So I assume it's this, right? Alright, so here we have nuclear pasta. And that's just doing its thing. And so these are each 0.5 per minute, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so this is just the regular old 10 times 0.5 is 5 per minute, which is a problem because we need 10 per minute. And actually, how does that work that way? Do we need more than 10? No, we need 12 per minute, actually. So, we need to more than double this, which is going to be a bit of a nightmare. So let's write that down. Nuclear pasta, have 5, need 12. So let's just write that down and then think. So either we expand it here, or we have to build another nuclear pasta factory. We could get most of the way there by summer slooping, but that would also just require an insane amount of power to do and a couple summer sloops. Also, I think our power situation is all messed up right now. I don't know what's going on with that. That's probably something which we're going to need to check out. Alright, so let's investigate the other shortfalls that we have. So let's see how time crystals are doing. Those should be down this way, I think. So if we head over here, I'm pretty sure it's like this row of machines over here is the time crystal production. And unlike the nuclear pasta, we're actually using this for other things, so we're going to have to figure that in. Alright, here we are. Time crystals. We've got 15 per machine, and we've got so many machines. Okay, so this is the input, and it's 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 machines. So 15 times 32 should be exactly 480. And this is a Mark IV belt, so that makes sense that that's what I would have been doing. So, time crystals. What else are we using time crystals for? We're using 100 of them on synthetic power shards. We're using 150 on neuroquantum processors. And then who knows how many we're using on dark matter trap. Could be absolutely any amount and I would have no idea. Now we... Okay, wait. No, this... So the reason this is using time crystals is to make more neuroquantum processors to make dark matter. So we need 240 dark matter crystals, apparently, to make the Singularity cells. So, let's check on our dark matter crystal supply, because that might make it easier for us. So this right over here is the power shards, right? And that's one of the main sources. So let's just cruise on over here and see what's going on. So, how much dark matter do we produce here? It's gonna be crystals down here, and this is dark matter trap, right? Yes. So this is 60, 120, 180, 200. So this is 240 here, which is, I mean, it would be enough if we weren't using it for anything. We are using it for stuff. I don't know how much though. So let's pull up dark matter crystals and see where exactly these would be going. So far, just the power shards themselves and the superposition oscillators need dark matter crystals. And probably some other stuff requires dark matter residue. Actually, not really. Just Pixonium. So, how many dark matter crystals is this using itself? 10 per machine across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 machines. So that's 100 dark matter crystals there. So this has like 140 excess. And then the superposition oscillator factory. So we also have another source of dark matter from the neuroquantum processors. And then we have a place where we're using dark matter at the superposition. So dark matter, we have 240 minus 100. And I'm also going to write down needs 240 to spare. Okay, so the superposition oscillators are up northwest, I think. So let's go investigate those. And we should be able to add some time crystals into various places to get more dark matter crystals if we need to, which hopefully will provide enough. Okay, so this is the superposition oscillator factory. And we drop down to here. And this is going to be producing 50, 100, 150. Plus 150, but then it's going to be using all of those and then some. So these are 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360. Alright, so let's mark that down. And then we need to go to one last location. Actually, there's a yellow light here. What's your problem? It is actually the dark matter crystals. It's worrying. But then the last place we need to go to check is the neural quantum processor factory, which I think I can't remember. I think is east, maybe. I'm not gonna lie, I do not remember where it is. Maybe if I search NQP here. Okay, it's southwest. Okay, that makes sense. So, wait, no, we do want to swap to jetpack for this. And we go southwest to probably this, the neural quantum processors. And again, probably down to these reactors. Okay, so you are getting 20 per machine. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So you're getting 100. And then plus 100. And then do these go back in, or do these just go directly out? Okay, these just go directly out. So, in total, we have 240 plus 150 plus 100 minus 100 minus 360. So currently we have 30 spare dark matter crystals. We need 240. So the way to do that is to take some of these machines and import time crystals and make them more efficient that way. So dark matter crystals, these are going to be 30 time crystals per 60, and we need to add 240-ish. Technically less than that, but whatever. So we need to add like 4 of these sets in, which is going to be 120 time crystals, which I think I could have sworn I written this down. Alright, time crystals, we have 480, and what are we using all these guys for? We're using 100, we're using 250, oh, except some of these are faster, right? Like, I think we're making more neural quantum processors than just 30 per minute. I think we're doing like 40 per minute. So let's actually check that real quick, because I need to make sure that my math is all correct. So these are 5 per minute per machine, and we have 8 machines. So yes, that's 40 per minute on that, which means that, where are these? It's time crystals that we are looking at here. So these, instead of 3 per minute, are 4 per minute. So that's another 200. So we're using 300. And we need all of that. But it should be fine, right? We might end up having to upgrade our time crystal production again. Hopefully we don't, but it seems like it might happen. So we have 180 to spare, and we need 120, which leaves us 60 left over for all the dark matter crystals we could possibly need and any other usage of time crystals. But it should be doable. Okay. Actually, it's going to be worse than that, though, because these obviously still make some dark matter crystals, so each one I place up is going to be a whole thing. So, let's see here. This was the row of 100, right? 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 dark matter crystals there. And that is made up of 200, 400, 600. So that is 1,000 dark matter. 1,000 dark matter here is converted into 100. Now, if we do it with this recipe, that would be 400. So, yeah, so if we take the 1,000 dark matter we have here and convert it into here, that's 400 dark matter crystals as opposed to the 100 that we have here, which would give us 300 extra dark matter crystals above what we have currently. So that should be enough. That should, in theory, be enough. And it looks like I even set up these... Okay, well, I did the very basics of setting them up to have a time crystal input. We're obviously going to need to fix that, but it should be fine. So, we have to set these up with the new recipe, and this is going to disrupt things temporarily, but that's fine. So these are 30 each, but I think we're going to need to overclock these, right, in order to get enough out. How many of these are there? There's 5 of them, and we need to get 400. So if we just do 400 divided by 5 is 80 per minute each, which is a little bit more, just barely requires power shards. So we're going to get these settings pasted across, and that's going to obviously brick all of these. And now we just need to drop down and get the time crystal supply in. And this is a 1 to 5 splitter because of course it is. Okay, let's start with getting this foundation expanded out. So we need room for our time crystal input here. Hello. We are working on Singularity cells so that we can eventually get Fixonium power. And we're just working on all the various things that we need to input to get to that point. So this is NQP time crystals. And it is going to go to time crystal source. And time crystals have a refueler, so I shouldn't need to fuel it from this side, probably. So we just need to give it a start, and I guess we could grab this, which has just been sitting in there for who knows how long. Alright, then we power you up, and you are gonna go get time crystals. Very cool. Now we have to drop down to here and get a 1 to 5 splitter in. So this goes into here, and just like that. Okay, now I'm stuck underneath this floor. Help. Okay, so then this output here is going to go down a level. If I could scroll, if my scroller wheel worked properly, then it would go down a level. Okay, so that goes down. How much is this in terms of time crystals? It's 40 times 5, so it's like 200 time crystals. Okay, that's probably fine. So we want to limit you to 200, which is going to be 120 plus 80. I did not give myself all that much space down here. It should be fine. So we need... I normally build these things from above facing down. That's not going to be an option this time. So we have that, and then it splits off again. Let's have it split off this way, just for spacing reasons. You're still working on phase 5. Yep, it sure is a phase, alright. There's a lot of stuff to do. Okay, so this belt goes to there. So that's 120. Then 40 of that goes back. And please rotate correctly. There we go. So now 80 of it goes forwards. So that's 40 plus 40 is 80. And then that merges up with this. So we have 80 going in there. 120 going on there. And then we get 200 out of that one into the 1 to 5 splitter. And now we just have to take this out and hope that it lines up properly. It does. Very cool. Set you to have priority to the outsides and send stuff forwards, and then we tell this one to go left any center overflow. Not that it makes much of a difference as long as they're all set. Okay, so that's all set. Now we go out to here and we just connect these belts in, and then that will be that. Please stop hopping away at the last second. So all of these go forwards. And there we go. And it looks like the time crystals have even shown up already, so that's cool. So now we just need to bring these belts forwards. And gosh, this would be a lot easier if I gave myself the same amount of headroom that I give myself 99% of the time. But we can manage. We're almost through. So that loops down to there. This comes a little bit further forwards. And then goes into there. And that is that. Time crystals check, and dark matter crystals are now going out. And these are 80 each. So we need to upgrade these belts a bit in order to keep up. So these need to be Mark II belts each, like so. And then the main belt needs to be a Mark IV because it's carrying 400 dark matter crystals. And this belt is broken up weirdly because of blueprint placements. But we get there in the end. And there we are. Okay, so that is dramatically increased supply of dark matter crystals coming from here. So now this is plus 400. And that equals 240 plus 150 is 390 plus 400 is 790. 790 minus 100 is 690 minus 360. 690 minus 360 is 330, I think. Something like that. Alright, so dark matter crystal supply officially good to go. So that was a relatively straightforward fix, assuming we don't run out of time crystals, which I think we won't. I think we have the room for it, and if not, then that'll just be too bad. Okay, so we've got that. The plutonium waste is... Oh, right. The reason I'd written that down is because I'd seen some funky things going on with the power. Okay. Let's see here. So time crystals, we have 480 using 300, but we need... Okay, wait, we need 180 time crystals for this, so we might actually be cooked. I think the time crystals are actually not going to work properly. So let's fly over. We're actually very close to a lot of that stuff while we're down in this corner. So let's fly up and see how the time crystals are looking. Get up past all this nonsense. And now we can just slide over to here. And I'm pretty sure... Yeah, so we saw that we had 480 of these. And am I sure that we are using 300 of them already? So, time crystals. 100 to synthetic power shards. 150... No, 200 to neural quantum processors. That's 300. So yes, we are definitely using at least 300 time crystals, and certainly more because we also have dark matter trap in a couple of locations. So that means we are going to need to upgrade the time crystal supply, and I wonder how hard that's going to be. So we have this, obviously it just sent a whole delivery, so that's just going to be that way. Now this is showing 450, not even 480. And I don't know what that's about, whether this is not quite fast enough or there's some sort of problem. So 15, 30, 45, 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 105, 120, 135, 150, 165, 180, 195, 210, 225. Oh, some of these guys are yellow, actually. Here's the problem. We've got these two guys in here who are just... I mean, they're just not connected up to the output for no apparent reason. How did that even happen? How could I have possibly done that? Okay, well, we're going to connect them up. So that's going to be step one, is getting this up to the 480 that it's supposed to be. So that all goes, and that is now 480 per minute. And it's just going to run like that for a while. Okay, then how much more of this do we need? How many time crystals do we do here? Because I know We've done dark matter crystallization in 2 places. We've done it down at the neuroquantum processors where we used 200 of them. And we've done it right here where I don't know how many we've used. So this is 30, 60, 90, 120. So this is 120, and 120 plus 200 is 320. So we have 480. We're using now 620, which is obviously not sustainable. So we need to add on, just confirm the math, we need to add on 140 time crystals to our production. And that could be, hopefully it's just doable. Hopefully it's doable. So let's work this backwards to remember what we did. So we have this, we have all these diamonds. And the diamonds, oh, this is summer slooped. Right. So this is 240, 480, 960 diamonds per minute coming out of these. And if we want to add more, it's going to be wildly inefficient if we don't do more summer sloops. So then the step before that is making turbo fuel, which we need to make canisters for. And the turbo fuel needs regular fuel and compacted coal. Okay, this is a bit of a nightmare. So the sulfur is on site. The coal seems to be imported from a train station. Then the crude oil, I assume, is also imported via train. Okay. So, one thing which we could do is we could just add another layer of summer sloops on. So these reactors are slooped, but these converters aren't, but they are max overclocked, and there are a ton of them. So how many sloops would we need to get 140? We would need 10 of these. We would need 20 summer sloops. That's not plausible. That's so many. That's so many summer sloops. That's not happening. Okay. So we need to make more time crystals. And let's see. So this is just packaging, obviously. Okay. So I guess let's just sort of try to work backwards and expand things as we go. And the unfortunate bit is that expanding this is going to be annoying because of the buffers that we have in here. So I guess we can just add the extra stuff onto the end. So we're going to need another 10 of these. And let's just go with another 10 for even numbers' sakes. Because that'll give us 150 more time crystals when we need 140. Okay, so that would be... We're going to need another 4 summer sloops to do another one of these. Although, actually, wait. No. We can't go any faster because the coal is full steam ahead. Holy, this is a lot of coal. Okay. Yikes. The time crystals are going to be a problem. What other ways of getting dark matter crystals are there? So we can also just add diamonds directly. Or... So we can either add diamonds directly to get 1-to-1. Is that more efficient? Let's see. So the diamonds... So 2 diamonds make 1 time crystal. So they're like the same efficiency in terms of diamonds, but this is twice as efficient in terms of dark matter residue, so doing this doesn't make any sense. So the other option is we just do, because we can make this. We can make dark matter residue just with reanimated Sam, and I guess we can also like do AI expansion servers to make some. Okay, that's actually an option. So we have dark matter sort of built in to these two, and if we turn it into AI expansion servers, we could get some of that out. And that won't cost extra dark matter. So that's certainly an option. Now, let's see. So this is the dark matter residue recipe section. So we can make it by converting to SAM, or we can just do AA expansion servers, which might actually be quick. Let's see here. So we need 40 superposition oscillators, which we just built. We need 40 neural quantum processors, which we already have. We need 40 magnetic field generators, and excited photonic matter is free. So how many of these would we have made? We only would have made 10. Everywhere we turn, we just wind up with more steps. Okay, what about the other project parts, like the biome something or other something sculptors? Where are those? Are those biomechanical sculptors? Don't give anything relevant. And ballistic warp drives take a huge amount of dark matter crystals. So we're going to need another 400 dark matter crystals for that, which is a serious problem. And I believe also okay, so the Fixonium produces some dark matter residue. So we're going to get 500 dark matter residue from Fixonium. But I believe this recipe also takes dark matter residue. Okay, so basically this has just become the dark matter game. How do we get dark matter residue? Is this at all practical? Reanimated Sam to dark matter. It's like 4-to-1 on the ore. And then, so what? The crystallization is 10-to-1, so this would give us 10 dark matter crystals, which is absurd. Yeah, no, I think upgrading this has to be the play. And I wonder if we just have to, like, I wonder how much we need to add. So let's go back to dark matter crystals. We need 40. We need 400 dark matter crystals per minute for the ballistic warp drive. We need 200 per minute, or yes, we need 240 for singularity cells. Need 400 for ballistic warp drive. So that's 640 dark matter crystals for those. So 640 dark matter crystals is how many time crystals? It's like 1 to 2, so it's 320. That seems wrong. I've definitely done that wrong somewhere. But I think we literally just have to full-on double this to have enough time crystals for everything, which is completely unhinged. So we're gonna need. We are still gonna need like 16. We're gonna need like 16 more summer sloops just to keep up with everything. And then we're gonna need so much coal. The amount of coal this is gonna take is absolutely unhealthy. Way more coal than anyone could ever possibly want. Okay, so we're just going to work backwards though. So we're going to start at the end and just upgrade everything until we get there. So, step 1. Do I have a converter blueprint? Blueprints, time crystals. Yes, I do. Okay, so I have that blueprint, and that's just a... That doesn't have the foundation built in, does it? Or it might. It does have the foundation built in. Fun. Okay, so we are just going to build this out. And I guess we just pop it in there. And this should, in theory, just link around, right? And then the final total of time crystals is going to be 960. Which means that we are going to need all of these to become Mark 6 belts. Speaking of time crystal usage, here we go. So these just all go through. I'll upgrade this belt speed. And there's no way a single drone port is going to be able to manage outputting all of these. So that's going to be a fun problem to look forwards to. Also, I don't know why this belt is just extremely congested right now. It shouldn't be. I guess up here it's doing better. Well, for now it's going to be traveling way faster than it needs to, so that should help. So that goes all the way through to there, and then all the way up to there at lightning speed. Okay, so we have that. And then, let's see, what did this take a whole lot of? I know it was extremely expensive in some way. Oh, it was the radio control units and SAM fluctuators. Radio control units, SAM fluctuators. I'm going to grab a bunch of those, and it's not going to be anywhere near enough, unfortunately, but we'll have to make do for now. So we need to place down a whole giant number of these. There's no other way of making time crystals, is there? No, just the one recipe. Just the one recipe. That's all there is to it. And this blueprint doesn't even have the power lines in it. That's annoying. Okay, well, just get placing again. Blueprint auto-connect mode. We're going to get a whole bunch of these in, and then... Okay, that's definitely not how I want that to connect up. Oh, this one somehow wound up backwards. So let's get it in facing the right way. Okay. So how much is this? These aren't overclocked. So let's get them overclocked. And then figure out what we're looking at here. It's not going to be much. Okay, we need power shards. So now we paste the settings and they properly get overclocked. Now at this point we had the power shards to do the pasting, so it's fine. So these are 15 each. It's 15, 30, 60, 90, 120. So this is 120. That's like a quarter of what we're doing here. And now let's place in another 2 and then instantly run out of resources. And I don't know why it keeps deciding to put them backwards for no reason. I'd really rather just place them the way that they're obviously meant to be placed. Okay, so that is going in, and we're gonna have to actually extend it out over that way a little bit more because the drone port and everything is going to be in its way here. And I guess we can start on building out the splitters. So we can run some foundations along this way. Just to get the extra space in for them. And let's just ignore that power tower. Hopefully. And the thing is, like, these actually fill up super fast, so you can't spend that much time distracted from them, otherwise it'll cause problems. And actually we don't, because we're going to be expanding this over this way, so if we try to start building in the splitting, then it'll break. I guess we could just do like a speed limiting setup along the entire way. That's an option. Alright, so let's do those. Let's turn off take from inventory before depot so that we use as much of the depot throughput as possible. Not that it's going to be a problem because we burned through all of the storage in like 2 clicks here. Okay, so we get that in. And we just have to keep on going. And this is by far the easy part of expanding this, by the way. Because we have to expand all of these production lines. We have to actually go and find a bunch of summer sloops. Like 16 of them at least. How many summer sloops do we currently have? The answer is 0. We have no summer sloops. Okay, that's gonna cause problems for sure. So let's just keep pulling those into the inventory. and placing them out. Okay, so we are almost there. We've made pretty good time on building this half of things, at least. So we need one more here to get those two, and then we need 3 more placements on the other side. Down there. And then it'll all be good. Alright, we can probably get this next one in now. Yeah, there it is. And then we don't have room for more because we cleverly put the drone ports here. Still showing a ridiculously high outgoing transfer rate, which is certainly inaccurate. Okay, now let's just confirm. We have 1, 2, 3 left to place over here. And so let's just get walking over there and get those placed up. So over we go. And then we're going to need to get the summer sloops, which is probably going to take a lot of effort. And also, keep in mind we're going to have to do the same thing again for the nuclear pasta. So that's not going to be fun either. Wait, no, we don't need to place ground down because the ground exists in the blueprint for this. I don't know why I did it that way here. That's 1. That's 2. And we're just 1 short of being done with placing all the converters. But the SAM fluctuator supply has absolutely crashed. So this is like waiting on fresh production now, and it's not especially quick fresh production. So how many more do we need? We need another 50. Yeah, that's going to take ages at this rate. It's like we're actually just going to be here all day doing that. All right, let's go time crystal hunting, or not time crystal, summer sloop hunting, and then we can come back, place this last one in, and then be fine. So, summer sloops. If I were a summer sloop, where would I be? Hide everything except for the radar towers, so that I can see where those are easily. Yep, resources as well. And yeah, so now the only thing available on the map is technically the hub and radar towers. Okay, so there's 1 summer sloop in that whole area, so this is no good. There's 1 there. There's none there. There's 4 there, 9 there, 5 there. Okay, yeah, pretty slim pickings overall. Looks like there might be an area in here which doesn't have a radar tower coverage. Okay, so this one has 9. So sort of just above the swamp. This is going to be rough finding all of these. I mean, we're at the point where we're starting to like just be picking up every single summer sloop on the entire map, which is going to be not easy at all. Okay, so we need to swap over to the scanner and go looking. Okay, we don't want to overshoot and wind up in the swamp, though. That would be bad. Ooh, we've got a summer sloop on the scanner already. That's a good start. So it's somewhere over this way. It's tough to say whether... Okay, it's gonna be up in this stupid tree because they're always up in these trees. So like half the summer sloops on the entire map are just up in trees like this. I don't know why they love placing them up here. Okay. And at some point, we're also probably going to want to do a recap of where my summer sloops are, because there are probably a bunch of them that are just wasted in spots where we don't want them to be. So let's just keep exploring, though, see what happens. Summer sloops, summer sloops, summer sloops. Okay, I think this is going to be hard enough that we need to do the old interactive map trick and just find every summer sloop in the game that we haven't already grabbed yet. So let's see if I can remember what directory this is in. Probably under users. Factory game, yes, here it is. Saves. And then into here. And then my most recent autosave. So we're just going to load that in and track down just every summer sloop remaining on the map. And pick them all up. And that is apparently going to take a while because my save is incredibly massive and complicated. So I guess in the meantime we can hop around a little bit more. Okay, any signs of summer sloops by this random factory? Not looking like it. Okay, the map says it's 80% loaded. Oh, nope. This is just 80% with that step. Oh, it gave me a performance warning because there are too many structures. That's a good sign. Okay. It should be... It's adding map layers, drones, belts, etc. So we're almost there. It's almost done. Okay. So that has successfully loaded up. Now, we need to use the map. Options. First of all, reveal all map. Collectibles. Summer sloops. We have 58 that we've collected, and there are 48 remaining. So there are plenty. There are plenty if we can find them. So, let's see here. We need to hide a bunch of stuff so that it isn't cluttering the map and making it impossible to see where things are. Okay, no, I've managed to freeze the interactive map. That's good. That's a good start. Okay, well, I guess while that stays frozen, we're going to continue looking around manually. And I really wish I had done the math right the first time and made enough time crystal production. So that crash debris can go. We don't need that. Okay, no, it's the map is unfrozen. And oh, it's frozen again. Okay, I just tried to deselect pipe. Okay, no, that was faster this time though. So we got that going for us at least. So we just need to keep on deselecting things until it becomes possible to see what we're doing. Okay, so we've deselected a whole bunch of things. Now we need to activate the summer sloop layer, which we should now be able to see easily. And okay, where even am I? Okay, so I'm over there. Sorry, just staring at the map real quick. So I'm here by this edge, and there should be, let's see, so the summer sloop up in that tree is the one that I just grabbed just a couple seconds ago, right? So we need to head west to grab some more summer sloops. And let's see here. I need to get myself all lined up. So we're headed here. That's our next stop. So we just have to grab a whole bunch of summer sloops so that we can get enough time crystals to do everything we need to do. Alright, so now it's showing up on the scanner. So I should just be able to follow it over here. And it's another one in a tree. Seriously? Have you tried putting any summer sloops anywhere other than trees? Okay, but there should be one down this way. Somewhere in this region. By this... Yeah, it's going to be in here, I bet. There's no way it isn't in here, right? So blow that up. Burst through. And it's not... Okay, no, it was literally right behind me. Cool, so we get that. And now there's one way south by the edge of the river. Which... Okay, I must have gotten turned around a little bit, because it's definitely not showing up here. Yeah, so it's like here. So southwest we need to go. Let's turn around and head this way. And it's apparently pretty close to all this stuff. But I haven't seen it before. Okay, no, there it is. It showed up on the scanner. Very good. Now we just have to hope it's not underground in a cave somewhere impossible to find. And it is underground in a cave somewhere impossible to find. Okay. Well, let's try and find that cave, I guess. So we are going to hope that this cave has an entrance in the side of the waterfall. Like this, for example. It's got to be in this cave, right? Big, spooky caves, got uranium stuff in it. Okay. There's an unexploded barrier thing over here, and I bet there's a summer sloop behind it. Yeah, there we go. Another summer sloop down. Just like 25 million left to go. Okay, so the next thing is we need to head sort of up to here. There's two back to back. And then we're also on the right path to get even more past that. Ah, summer sloop hunting. What fun. I wonder, like, at what point do I just say, whatever, we're just going to use a item duplication glitch? I think no. I haven't used exploits like that ever before, and I don't really plan on starting. But if we get, like, completely hard stuck without summer sloops, then we might have to go desperate times call for desperate measures, but hopefully not. Okay, so it's really quite far. Summer soups are pretty well spread out. And these are probably also going to be in a cave. All right, is this a new hard drive? It is. Do we even have heat sinks? No, we don't. Wonderful. Well, I guess that hard drive should just sit there then. And we just move along. Okay, I need to reorient myself. Where are we headed? We're headed up there, so I'm going the right way. Going the right way. Up we go. And over all of that stuff. And we're gonna have to stop and correct again. Okay, pretty much due north at this point. They should be showing up on the scanner soon-ish. And still nothing on the scanner. But we are like right on top of them. It's kind of crazy how bad the scanner is. Alright, here it is. They're over this way. Okay, so now we just have to follow the scanner. And it's apparently right down here. Presumably just like 5 feet below ground. There's gotta be just a cave. There's gotta be a cave in here. Maybe this hides a tiny little cave entrance? Maybe? No, it's just a random useless quartz patch. Okay. So it's not there. Then where is it? Oh, down here? Is this a thing? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Sneak in here. And we go up this way. And that is summer soup acquired. Up to 5 on hand. And then the next one is sort of up there. Sort of even further north, but not through this cave, that's for sure. Unless it branches out somewhere, which it doesn't seem to do. Okay, so we just pop up and start heading over this way. Alright. We are looking for cave entrances in that cliff wall, because we're probably going to need to find one. Unless we get lucky and it's just in this poison cloud. Alright. Poison pillar, please be gone. Is there another poison pillar back here? Of course there is. Somehow I whiffed it. Okay, poison pillars cleared. Now back to the scanner, and it's gotta just be... gotta be an entrance in here somewhere. What are all these poison pillars for if not to conceal an entrance? So that one's gone. And I'm gonna have to grab some more nobelisks pretty soon. Okay. Then we get that one. And we miss again. I swear these misses are like a millimeter off. Okay, all those gone. Nope, apparently there's one left somewhere. I have no idea where. Okay. Oh, it's here in this, randomly in the cliff face. Okay, so now this area is cleared. Let's grab Another stack of nobelisks. And are we 100% certain that there is not a cave entrance in there? It feels like there should be. It feels like I got robbed for there not being a cave entrance in there. Okay, well, we just keep looking then. Maybe it's like some convoluted... Oh wait, no, it wasn't even in a cave. It was just on top of a pillar. I was overthinking that like crazy. Okay, so we just land up here. And if I could land somewhere stable, please. Okay, I can reach it from down here. Another summer sloop, check. Now we head sort of east-ish, slightly north, and we just keep going. So this, we just head over this way, and we are heading to this area. There's apparently one there and then one over there. Okay, so we just fly on past and see if it shows up anywhere on the old scanners. Okay, it is on the scanners, and it's over this way. There it is, just out in the open. Alright. Another summer sloop acquired. And then we need to head a little bit further this way for the next one. It's probably up by those poison pillars or something. Didn't get a great launch this time. We're moving kind of slow. Alright, the summer sloop is on the scanner though. And it's somewhere this way. It's a bit further than I expected, but just past it. Ah, I see. It's going to be in this random little rock, isn't it? That's a weird place to put it. Okay, another summer sloop acquired. Okay, halfway there. Got 8, we need another 8. So now we head north up into this area where there's a whole bunch of them. So off we go. And we just jetpack up all of these mountainy type things. And we can stop and recharge the jetpack and then just keep going. So, precise locations. There's got to be 3, like, right in front of us up on this next ledge up here. Yeah, and instantly one of them comes into view. Not view, but, you know, scanner range. So now we just scan, and it's up here. On top of some uranium, because of course it is. Grab that, and then the next one is close by over this way. And we just passed over it. So this is going to be down... This whole thing is like... got an underground section, doesn't it? Okay, so there are waterfalls and such here. Makes it likely for there to be a cave of some kind. Yes, there is. Alright, so we pop down to here, grab the summer sloop, and that's another one down. And then there's already another one within range, although it's tough to say exactly where. It's this way. So let's fly up here and get a move on towards it. Okay, it might be back behind these rocks. This is a cave entrance. I don't want to leave that cave entrance unexplored if it is where a summer sloop is. Okay, it's up on this ledge up here. There it is. Alright. How many summer sloops do we have now? We have 11. So that's... we're getting there, bit by bit. So I think those were all the ones in that patch of 3. I think we just keep heading north, because there is still plenty up here. I guess we have to get out of that first. And there should actually be one out in the desert over this way off to the east by the river-ish. Approximately by the river. It's not quite on it, but a little bit off to the east of the river. So let's go over this way and see if we can find it. There it is. It's on the scanner. Please don't be in some horrifically hard to find underground cave. Please just be sitting out in the open. It is just sitting on the side of a dune. Alright. Works for me. Now we turn around and head north. And we have to head a fair bit of distance north before we get a couple more. There's going to be one out in just sort of the middle of the desert, a couple out in the middle of the desert, and then a couple up by those cliffs again. Okay, I think I see it. Yeah, there it is. So we grab that one. And then the next one is even further sort of southeast of this. So it's sort of just like out in the middle of completely featureless nothingness. Which makes it a bit hard to like find landmarks to figure out where exactly you're supposed to be going. And yeah, it's another one that's just sort of sitting on the ground. Man, what were they doing in the Dune Desert to just have all these summer sloops just literally lying on the ground? Easily accessible. Alright, so now we need to head further east, but a little bit north, past the oasis. And there should be another one up here. And then we head south down the coast to grab another 2. And then that will be that. Okay. So it's specifically here. There we go. So that, what was that, 15? Yep, that's 15. Alright, now we just turn south and grab the 16th. And that should be all that we need. So we just head on south. Big old trip. And it should be like right by the coast. Possibly in a cave or something. Who knows? Nope, just out in the open. Yeah, the Dune Desert's got some of the easiest summer sloops, like anywhere that you could ever possibly find. Alright, we're just going to keep on moving then. Head a little bit further south. And there's one more within this general vicinity that we can pick up. There it is. I can see it. Yeah, Dune Desert, just like the actual easiest summer sloops to find in the entire map. No concealment at all. Just lying on the ground. Okay, so that's, I mean, we needed 16, we got 17, there's no more super close to us. So now we respawn. And we can head back down to the factory we were working on for the time crystals. I did not switch back to a jetpack. I think I was on jetpack and I reflexively switched because I almost always have to switch. But that time I didn't, so it messed me up. So off we go. Down to the time crystals. Down to the time crystals we go. And we're back. Okay, so sort of overshot that a bit. Swap back to hover path. We need to place one more converter on the end of this. So we just go all the way down to here. And blueprint. Time crystals, blueprint auto connect mode. There we go. Okay, now we need to fix this up a little bit. So that goes out and connects up to there. Then this whole thing gets another foundation through like that. And now this can turn around and connect up. Okay, so that is in and it's all connected. Now we need to get the balancer in. And now we'll have those summer soups for when we start doing that. So how many of these is this? I'm pretty sure it's a 1 to 2 splitter. Pretty sure it's just a bunch of rows of 1 to 2 splitters no matter what. So these are not power shard properly. Right, because we need to paste the settings in. So let's get all these settings pasted in. And okay, at that point they're pasted already. So these are 30 each, which means that these belts carry 60 on them. So we just need to go there and there. And just do that a couple more times. So we just have to connect all of these up until they're done. And again, I have no idea how many of these there even are. Some crazy number. So here is that random power tower, which I don't want to remove because it might be important. So we're just going to sort of build over it and pretend it doesn't exist. Okay, so that is 2, 4, 6, 8 machines, right? And then we have another 2, 4, 6, 8 machines. Yes. Okay, so this is the halfway mark. And we just have to expand this foundation down a little bit. So we expand the foundation down a little bit until it all lines up. There we go. So now we should be able to get all of these linked up. And they go in like that. And we just keep these coming until it's done. And a couple more of these, and that will be the first row of several. Yeah, time crystals, you need a lot of them, and they're really hard to make. So there we go. so that is the first row. Now we need another row, but these are going to be Mark IIs. So that goes out to there. And then we get another one like this. And gosh, these are so insanely long. So that goes through. Then we need to get the other half here. And that was all built using Mark II belts, so that's good. So then that just goes over there, and then we just get one more set on this side, and that'll be that row done. So you just go in like that, and then down like that. Okay, so that's all good. Now we just need to get the last couple connections up, and these are going to be 240 each. So we have to bring in Mark III belts and pop that splitter in, connect it up like so. And then this splitter goes in and gets connected up the same way. And all the way down. All the way down we go. And in. Is this even right? It's 12 to 6. I feel like I've missed something in here. So, all right, no, these... So these ones down here also need to get the copy pasting. I have no idea when that started. And apparently we lost it at some point too. So we just need to paste to like all of these. And then we're going to need to turn around and paste to all of them again. And this is, again, the easy part of this whole setup, because we need to do all the extra rows as well. Okay, so at what point do these stop having the settings pasted? It's somewhere in this area. Okay, here, yes, it's this one on. Need to get power shards pasted into them. And we just run all the way down and get it all built up. Okay, so that's all good. Now let's just confirm that I did the speed right. So these are 30 and 30, which means that this belt is 60. These belts are 60 and 60, so these belts are 120. 120 to 120, so 240. 240 and 240, so that's 480. And yes, it does wind up being 960 diamonds going in. And we just need to expand that out with one more foundation in this area. So that goes through. All right. So that's all set up, and now we need to get the power poles in, because for some reason the blueprint didn't do that. So that is gonna be fun. So let's get all the power poles connected up. Need to place down like 40 of these things or something. It's an absolutely insane number. Okay, that's a good start. We want to always leave some space on our power poles because there are always going to be like weird random things that in the future we realize we need them for. So really a good policy is to just like have your tier 3 poles and just pretend they're tier 2s. Okay, okay, so yeah, those are already connected, just making sure I didn't forget that. So then that goes all the way down to there. And we just keep placing power poles. And we just keep placing power poles. So there we go. And that'll be the last one for you, and then we connect you up to a new power pole, which comes all the way down to here, and then connects up to these ones. We are basically there. Assuming that these wires can reach, this should be the last one. There we go. And now we just connect you up to you. Alright, did I get all of them? Lights should be visible from this side, and yes, they are all yellow lights, which means that they're all doing their thing. Okay. So now we just need to add another 4 particle accelerators and connect them up to this new area. And these particle accelerators don't require anything fancy, just 2 inputs and an output. And oh boy, the coal supply is gonna be extremely painful. This coal supply is gonna be like the world's worst thing that we ever have to do in our lives. We're going to be adding, what, another 6,000? I don't know if we have... I don't know if there's that much coal on the map, to be honest. We'll have to figure out whether... We'll have to figure out what to do if it isn't an option. Is there some other way of making diamonds which is better than this? Let's see that. So turbo diamonds is 10 coal per diamond. Cloudy diamonds is 12 coal per diamond. Pink diamonds, I guess, is 8 coal per diamond, but it's done in converters, so... and it's way slower. And then there's a couple other options, like oil-based diamonds that I'm pretty sure we just absolutely don't want. So yeah, I guess we might have to look into pink diamonds if the coal supply becomes too much of a problem, but even then, the summer sloops make this actually, what, 5 coal per diamond, which is the best by far, and it's fast enough rate to actually manage to do that. So yeah, I think this is basically the only reasonable option. So we pop down another 4 particle accelerators. So those all go in. And then we need a little bit of room in front of them. And probably another row as well. Okay, so before we start worrying about their inputs, let's get their output done because we are working backwards. So these are going to merge up with each other. And just gonna go like this. So they just line up, and then they all output down to here. And there we go. Now, we did get the recipe automatically pasted in, so that's all good. So, now, do we just go underground? Yeah, we should have room underground for this. Might get a little bit sketch with the coal inputs, but it should be fine. That just goes down there, and then you need to find where the central point of this whole thing is. It's over here. So then this gets its input. And there we go. So now we just have to connect up those two floor holes with Mark 6 belts. So this belt just comes along over this way and a little bit further. And that just lines up to there. And then this one attaches out. And boom, connected. Okay, so that's that half set up and ready to go. Now we need to just continue working backwards until we are done. So the next steps, so obviously we need to get the 20 trillion coal in here. And that's going to be a whole process. I wish you could double summer sloop. I wish we could just throw more summer sloops into here. That sure would be nice. Now, for these, how many summer sloops would it take to sloop these up? This would be 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, but these aren't overclocked. So how much is it total? It's 16 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So there are 20 of these. If we overclocked them, it would be 20 divided by 2.5. It would be 8. So, if we grabbed another 16 summer sloops, we could just upgrade this and then not have to go down all of the madness with the fuel production getting doubled everywhere. And then we would still, though, need to double this plastic input and the coal input, which is really like the main thing. Okay, the power grid is real sketchy. It has been all stream. Let's just go and check that out, because I'm not really feeling like doing more work with all this nonsense at this exact moment. So we're gonna change tack a little bit. The power grid, obviously it's important that it works because it's nuclear, so if it doesn't work and it stays not working for long enough, the entire factory might explode, which would be bad. You don't want the entire factory to explode. So we're gonna head... What just happened there? That launch did not function properly at all. Okay, so we are going to head down to the... Wait, no, this isn't nuclear. Nuclear is over this way. I got the nuclear and the ionized fuel confused for whatever reason. Alright, so we just head down here. and we die because we hit the ground a little too hard, I guess. Whoops.
That went well.
Yes, thank you, Ada. I'm aware. Alright, so now we just have to try that. I think that's the first time I've ever actually died from a hypertube cannon incident. Ah, well. So we just fly on over this way, and we try not to randomly hit some unrelated thing and die. Okay. So now we're here. We just need to slow down and not descend quite so much. Okay. So, I see you are yellow. You are not getting enough encased plutonium cells. So that is this belt here. Encased plutonium cells are at 90% because there are not enough plutonium pellets. So, let's head on over to the... Actually, we can just check in here first. So this is stuck because of water problems, and it's pretty badly stuck too. It's like 60%. Okay, but only those two are at super low percentage. Okay, so to recap, these guys are going to have not enough non-fissile uranium to run. And that is because this water shortage here. So, this is just sort of a dead end of a pipe. So step one is we just loop this, right? So we just take this, and just take the pipe, and we bring it around, and we just keep bringing it around, and let's see here. Do we want to just bring it all the way? Yeah, let's just bring it all the way over to make this entire thing a giant loop. So that should work nicely. So you come on over here, and you reach all the way down to this side, where you then input. Okay, wait, actually, the water wasn't the problem. I mean, the water might have partially been the problem, but the reason there wasn't enough water output is because we have a nitrogen shortage. Okay, nitrogen shortage. How come you exist? Where does the nitrogen even come from? It's not these, right? These don't even do anything. Cool. I do love just random drone ports, which apparently just do nothing. Okay, so the... Oh, right, the nitrogen is like all the way down here somewhere. Some unbelievably cursed drone-based setup. Okay, so these are showing 70%. They look fine right now. So I imagine it's an intermittent supply thing where this is going to run dry before it shows back up. Okay. So, nitrogen, nitrogen, nitrogen. It's doing its thing. Okay, this one is doing fine. This is the one which provides to the uranium plant. So then it's these two down here which aren't getting enough, which makes sense because they're having to do a whole lot more. And this is definitely starting to drop off. If the drone doesn't show up soon, that's just going to be empty. So that is definitely just about to hit 0. Okay, but there is... It says docking, which means either it's here and it's like moments away, or it's not here and we're in trouble. Okay, it seems to be not here and we're in trouble. Okay, so we've got plenty, and we have a supply of fluid tanks, right? So that's probably fine. And now that that's out, this is pretty much instantly going to burn through all of its packaged nitrogen. Okay. So we need to get more nitrogen in somehow. Somehow, some way, we need nitrogen to show up here more frequently. And this one is getting brought from nitrogen source 3. This is being brought from this one and source 2. Alright, so the drone has showed up. Okay, so it could be worse. It could be a whole lot worse. We just need like a little bit more. And now both of these have shown up at once. And we'll see how much they even deliver. Like, basically nothing. So that was definitely not a full drone's worth of cargo, right? So we need to figure out what's going on with the nitrogen sources, because we're definitely not getting enough input here. Like we know drones can carry like 1.5 stacks or something. They can't carry the full thing, but they're pretty close. Okay, now this one just got a second one showing up like instantaneously. Or did it just leave? I think it must have just left. Okay. So, step 1, find these nitrogen sources. Hide trains. Okay, show drone ports and search nitrogen. So that's down there. Nuclear nitrogen is there. Nuclear nitrogen 2 is there. So 1 and 3 are down there. 2 is up there. So let's head down to this one because it's closer. It's basically right here. And let's go investigate if it's just not having enough nitrogen to package, or if there's some weird problem going on. I think it might just be that it doesn't produce that much nitrogen and it's going to be stuck. That's very much a possibility, which is why we're going to investigate. So hopefully the problem is just like there's somehow not enough canisters in this system, and we can just dump a couple extra in and then have it be fine. But I doubt that it would be that simple. Ooh, is that a summer sloop? Yeah, it is. Alright, cool. Do love me some summer sloops. Let's hop over there and grab that. Can always use more of those. So we hop over here, grab a summer sloop, and there we go. Summer sloop acquired. And now this is the nitrogen source down here. So we've got all sorts of drone ports here. A whole bunch of them, and apparently another summer sloop right in the area as well. Where are you? Are you're down here underneath these destructible looking rocks. Okay, summer sloop. Where are you? There you are. So let's just grab that, so that when we need to go grab another 200 silver sloops for our next task, we don't have to go grab that one. Okay, now we hop back up, and time to investigate all this nitrogen-y based stuff. So, swap back to hover pack so that we can get an angle on it. It's actually kind of hard to tell. This one's definitely not getting enough nitrogen. Oh, it's not getting any nitrogen. It's not even connected. Okay, well, these ones have a good... How much nitrogen is this? This is 1650. Some spiders are doing some crazy stuff I can hear. Don't know what that's about. So this is 1650, but these two pipes are only ever going to be doing 1200. Oh, but some of this... Is some of this going elsewhere? Yeah, I think some of this is going down to the rocket fuel factory. So let's figure out. So these three here are 150, 150, 300. So that's a full pipe going up there. This one here is 75, 300. So that's 450 plus, I don't know, some of this maybe. It's hard to say. So yeah, at the end of the day, I think we just need... At the end of the day, I think this just doesn't physically have enough nitrogen, although the supply of fluid tanks isn't super high. Like, again, it would be really nice if the supply of fluid tanks was the limiting factor. And it looks like it is. Okay. So that means, theoretically, we just add more fluid tanks into the system and it's fine. Which this should be doing. Although it's actually clearing fluid tanks out of the system just as much. Alright, this whole area is a mess. Well, what do we have? We have the fluid tanks going up this way on a Mark IV belt. And that's 150 each. Alright, so let's make those guys even faster. So that is a full Mark IV belt. And this comes out from here. Okay, so the problem is... I actually don't understand what the problem is, come to think of it. The problem is that this sink is being used too much, but I don't understand why necessarily. So right now we have this providing the entire supply of empty fluid tanks, which is only 150, so it's only half. But then while this is running, it's actively throwing away its fluid tanks. Alright, so I think one thing which we need is a storage container in here. So we get a storage container in there. So that should be able to take all of that. And then let's just make sure that this belt all the way out there So yeah, all of this is Mark 4, so it should fill up this entire box rather than saturating. So I still don't understand how this is getting any overflow. Oh, is this... That's Mark 4. That lift is Mark 4. That's... Is there like a tiny... There's a tiny Mark 3 belt in there. That was causing all the problems. Okay. So now we do that. So now this can get all the fluid tanks that it needs. And that should be good, right? I mean, the destination had 2 of these at full speed. This has 2 of these at, I think, technically slightly less than full speed, but very close. So now that this is running better, it should be fine, and it should just stay fine forever. Now, what circumstances will this run in? This will make more if this ever gets filled, which probably will happen eventually. So I think this is too early in the system, and we want the box before it, but I also think it's probably not a big deal. I think it's very, very minor differences either way. Just like a little tiny bit of wasted aluminum, basically. So now this is all going through. And now we see that this box is filling up with extras. It's being produced by this. So yeah, now we have more than enough fluid tanks here. And it should produce plenty until this box is filled, and it should be fine. And we should be outputting 300-ish a minute, which doesn't look like is happening, but it probably is. It's probably... Is this a Mark IV belt? Yeah. I don't know why that's so sparse. It should be 300 a minute. It should be most of the belt. And even if these are at 90-ish%, it should still be most of the belt. So I don't understand why that's happening, but it's probably fine. Okay, so now the return supply is coming in and sending all of those through. So we should have theoretically, yeah, I think we never had a point where these didn't have enough fluid tanks to run. So that will be an improvement. Whether it fixes the problem, again, there's just no way of knowing. But it'll at least make it better. Which should gradually become visible over time at the power plants. It's certainly not going to be obvious right now. Alright, so that is all going. This is all going smoothly now, and we're not wasting huge amounts of fluid tanks. Although it's obviously not perfect. We are still just filling up this buffer again, and it should be all good. So we're going to have to, I guess, just ignore this and come back in quite a while to see whether it's fixed it. The transportation systems, they do cause significant delays in when you fix a problem and when you can tell whether the problem was adequately fixed or not. But I believe it'll be fine. I think it will be fine. Okay, so then also these get split between the two, so that shouldn't be an issue. We have way more outgoing than we saw arriving previously. So yeah, that's definitely an improvement of at least like a couple hundred per trip, which should be fine. Alright, so let's see here. Time crystals are a work in progress. Nuclear pasta, we haven't quite started yet. I think we're fine on fixite trigons. I think I checked that and we had more than enough, but we'll have to check those at some point. Dark matter crystals would be fine if we had enough time crystals, which we don't. And then plutonium waste, hopefully this setup fixes that. And then we'll be good to go. So yeah, I guess we need to fix up our time crystals. We need to fix up our nuclear pasta. And then that should be all that we need to do before we can start properly working on our singularity cells. Then once we have the singularity cells, then we can start working on the Fixonium power. And then once we have that, then it's just project parts at that point. Like the entire rest of the game is just singularity cells, project parts, done. So the tasks in front of us are big, but there are literally 4 of them. 5 if you count Fixonium fuel power as separate from singularity cells, as opposed to just like step 1, step 2. But yeah, we're almost there. So I think we're going to wrap up a little bit early today. I'm still not back to 100% from my cold last week. So I think we're just going to wrap up here. And next time we are going to get back to the time crystal setup. And that will be that. So yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. Had a lot of fun playing this game. And I will be back tomorrow for Factorio, where we are finally, I think, starting to make some headway on legendary quality production. It's been very, very slow going, but we're starting to get to the point where we can scale up at a reasonable rate. So if you're interested in that, I'll be streaming that tomorrow from 2 to 5 Eastern Time. Otherwise, I'll be back here in Satisfactory on Thursday at the same time. So make sure to follow if you haven't already, so that you know when I'm live and when I'm playing it. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks everyone for hanging out.